My thoughts on Xenoblade 3 Future Connected, the DLC, which I consider like a separate story. This is basically the origin story of the founders of the city from Xenoblade 3, and like most Xeno DLC, they refine the battle system from the base game. So you're reintroduced to Shulk and Rex as adults now and battle scarred after teaming up with Zed, the villain from Xeno 3, to fight Alpha, who is Alvis or Antos, but minus an avatar. So we'll get to that in a second. In the battle, Shulk loses an arm, Rex loses an eye, and they make a truce with Zed for Zed not to attack the city, and they won't attack Zed until Alpha is destroyed. But Alpha retreats and takes over Origin, which is basically the way for the world to be reformed. So Alpha, realizing he is not as powerful as he was before because he has no avatar, so he says his Antos core crystal on a beach, which is very reminiscent of, Xeno 1, for Nile, Matthew's sister, to find, as he realizes that she shares his feelings about this world, that everyone needs to be eliminated as long as they save the people of the city, which are her people. Because she doesn't like the fact that everyone is basically fighting back and forth, and she just feels that they're kind of not worth, the time to save them. That's the feeling I get with that. So then, basically, hold on. So she becomes the avatar for Alpha, and her plan is to take the people of the city up to Origin. So she goes down to the city to get the people, and basically goes to remove them, especially her brother Matthew. Zed, who has been watching from his theater, sees that Alpha is about to win and destroy everything in this world, and breaks the truth, attacking the city, and sends N down to stop Nile and Alpha. But N's son, Nile's grandfather, stops N from killing Nile and gets killed, and uses the power of Ouroboros to hopefully separate Nile from Alpha in a dying explosion that actually creates A as an avatar of Alpha's consciousness. But Nile takes the people of the city up into Origin, minus one Matthew, her brother. So Matthew meets Rex's daughter and Shulk's son, and A, and they join the adventure. Ouroboros is not as refined as Xeno 3, so the characters cannot combine like Xeno 3, but they do have stronger Ouroboros attacks in the game, which is pretty cool. Colony 9 is the home base of the crew of the game, and Prison Island makes a return. The gang fights N because N wants to stop Matthew trying to go into Origin to save Nile. At the end of the battle, Matthew shows basically N mercy, and then Nile brings them all into Origin. In Origin, Alpha shows Nile the world of Klaus as a promise of the world he will create for her and her people if she helps him destroy Ionios. An N battle with Nile and Alpha ensues, and when the battle comes to a close, N offers his Lucky 7 sword, which has Malice's core crystal, to combine with Numa's core crystal hidden under Matthew's gauntlets to initiate the Ouroboros combining of characters into one Mega Ouroboros to deal the final blow to Alpha. After the battle, Alpha says to Matthew, "Are you okay with making the future uncertain?" The same thing Alpha said to Shulk in Xeno 1. So you get that kind of callback. Really, basically, Xeno 3 Future Connected was basically a love letter to Xeno 1. I definitely agree with that. Rex and Shulk give their kids their life force as a parting gift and disappear with A to leave the future up to the founders. So basically, I would highly recommend Xeno 3 Future Connected. I mean, if you've already played Xeno 3, I mean, and if you played Xeno 1 and 2 and all the DLCs, this wraps everything up into a beautiful package of an ending. And then at the end of it, they basically tease some other things happening, because the worlds basically combine and then become one world again. So yeah, the plan worked, but the worlds didn't, I guess, reseparate, or did they? I don't recall now actually if they did or didn't. All I know is it seems like the original Earth came back to be what it was. I don't know, it just, every time I think about Xeno, I have to go watch like lore videos on Xeno. It just makes my brain hurt trying to think about all of it and think about everything that they kind of combined and put together. So I definitely want to see what the what Monolith does with the next one. So highly recommend it. Highly recommend you play it. This is Casual Noob Cybot signing out.